Hello friends, myself Dr. Nandakumar Rao Bawali from College of Engineering Ambazukai is going to deal with intellectual property rights. This is our 7th lecture in concern with intellectual property rights. In previous lecture, we have seen the rights of a trademark owner and limitations on the rights of a trademark owner. What is the meaning of deceptive similarity and honest and concurrent use of trademark. Today we will be discussing about infringement of trademark. What is the meaning of infringement? Definition of infringement. Then essential conditions. What are the essential conditions to call the use of trademark as an infringement? Determination of infringement. How infringement is determined? Who determines the infringement? Then exceptions to the infringement, in which case we do not say that as a infringement. Then concept of passing off. What is passing off? And essentials of passing off. Selection and evaluation of trademark. The infringement of a registered trademark. If you register a trademark and if it is used by somebody else, then we call it as the infringement. So a registered trademark owner has got the bundle of rights. As soon as you register your trademark, the law offers you certain rights. Very first right is a right to use the trademark himself. That is nothing but the trademark registered can be used by the owner of trademark. The owner of trademark has got the rights to assign the trademark to other by accepting some consideration in the sense monetary benefits are accepted by the owner of trademark and he assigns or he allows somebody else to use his trademark. The owner is exclusively allowed to exploit to get monetary benefits out of the registered trademark, and the trademark owner can transfer his trademark just like a conventional property by accepting consideration. By taking money, he can sell, he can transfer, he can give it as a gift to somebody else. So this is one of the right offered to the owner of a trademark. So as soon as you register trademark, the trademark owner obtains certain rights, and these are the rights which a trademark owner enjoys. Now, definition of infringement of trademark. Section 29 of the Act gives the definition. So what this infringement is: an unauthorized use without permission of a registered trademark, without taking permission from a trademark owner. If somebody uses this trademark, or the identical trademark, similar trademark is used, or deceptively similar. So the trademark which confuses, which is likely to confuse or cheat the trademark, or contravention of conditions. So the conditions are laid down at the time of registration of trademark. Say for example, trademark is registered for one product and that is used for some other product. That is called as a contravention of conditions. Permitted the trademark use shall be considered as an infringement of registered trademark. So what is the infringement of registered trademark? It is unauthorized use or use of identical trademark or deceptively similar trademark or contravention to the conditions permitted trademark use at the time of registration, then that shall be called as an infringement of registered trademark. This definition is given in section 29 of the Act. Now, meaning of infringement of trademark. So, registered trademark is infringed by a person who uses identical or deceptively similar trademark to already registered trademark. Some trademark is registered and similar trademark or deceptively similar trademark or identical trademark is used by somebody else. Then that use of a trademark by another person other than the person who has registered is known as infringement if he is using it without permission, without assignment, or without transfer. Then essential conditions or essentials of infringement of trademark. When we say that trademark is infringed, under which condition? The trademark in question must be registered. Very first is, if you have registered a trademark and somebody is using your trademark, then we can call that person is infringing your registered trademark. If you have not registered your trademark, then there is no question of infringement. So very first requirement or essential is the trademark which is infringed by somebody else must be registered by the owner. If owner has registered, then the others are called as infringing the trademark. So if your trademark is not registered, then somebody is using that trademark, then we cannot call it as a infringement. So infringing mark is identical or deceptively similar with infringed trademark. So the trademark which is used by somebody else is very identical or deceptively similar. Deceptively similar means it is likely to cheat the customers or stakeholders. Then we can call that as an infringement. Person is not authorized to use the trademark. Sometimes the trademark owner is allowing somebody else, he is permitting some other person to use his trademark, then that is called as authorized use. So if one person is using with authority the trademark registered, then it is not called as an infringement. If somebody is using the registered trademark without any authority, then that is called as an infringement. Infringing trademark must be used in course of trade or business or services covered by a registered trademark. So if this trademark is used by somebody else or for trade or business and or services that is covered under registered trademark, then only we can call it as a infringing of trademark. If that is not used for any trade, business, or services which are covered under registered trademark act, then we cannot call that use of trademark as a infringing. The use of infringing mark causes confusion in the mind of stakeholder. Confusion, it has to create a confusion in the mind of stakeholder. Who is the stakeholder? Stakeholder may be customers, may be employees, may be suppliers to that firm or business. So whoever is in contact or concerned with that business or trade or service, that person is known as a stakeholder. And if such trademark causes confusion in mind of any of the stakeholder, then it is called as an infringement. A registered user violates condition of grant or exceeds the permitted use, then also it is called as a infringement. Say for example, you have registered a trademark for a particular product. Say you want to sell a product known as a mobile, and you have registered one trademark. So the registered trademark has to be used for selling the mobile phones only. You are not allowed to use that registered trademark to sell some other product like computers or bikes or any other product. So one should not violate the conditions which are granted, or a owner of trademark should not exceed the permitted use. Beyond that, if he is going to use it, then that is also called as an infringement of trademark. Trademark is used with alterations. So some trademarks are used with minor alterations, existing trademarks or registered trademarks, then also it is called as an infringement of trademark. Now determination of infringement. Who has to determine, who says that it is the infringement? In order to decide whether infringement is made or not, whether infringement is made or not can be decided by court. anybody cannot decide. The court has to decide that the infringement has taken place by assessment of impact on purchaser. Impact on purchaser means stakeholder. So if you are going to infringe some trademark and that infringed trademark is going to cause impact on the mind of a purchaser or stakeholder, and he seems or the purchaser feels that he is going to purchase the product from original trademark owner. So such kind of impact, if it creates in the mind of customer or stakeholder, then it is called as an infringement, and that has to be decided by the court, not by the people. If the infringing mark is likely to cause confusion, it has to cause confusion or in the mind of purchaser. So it has to create confusion in the mind of purchaser, then only it is called as an infringement, and that is to be decided by court. Such trademark may be termed as infringed. The deception, fraud, confusion on the mind of customer is essential requirement to determine the infringement. If the use of trademark does not create any confusion in the mind of customer, then that is not called as the infringement. So for example, like me, unlike me. So there is minor difference between these two terms, and there is a chance that it may create confusion in the mind of customers. So another example is Mathura ghee, Mathurag ghee. Only this letter G is additional in these two, so that will create confusion in the mind of customers. So then we say that is having deceptive similarity. Then exceptions to infringement. So even if we are using similar trademark or deceptively similar trademark, then also it is not called as infringement. So in which condition it is not treated as infringement? The honest use of trademark. Honest use, it may be for the education purpose or for social work, then we do not call it as an infringement. Honest use. So by taking consent of the trademark owners, if somebody uses it, then that is not called as an infringement. Without unfair advantage, so not for taking any kind of benefit, just for a social service like that, somebody is using that in registered trademark, then it is not called as an infringement. A registered user of trademark within the terms and conditions of use. If a registered owner is using trademark remaining within the terms and condition, if the owner of the trademark is not going to violate any terms and conditions, he is going to be abide with the rules and regulations or terms and conditions, then such owner is not called to be a infringed user of that trademark. If he is going to exceed the terms and condition, then only the infringement of trademark is decided. So concurrent use of trademark. So two or more persons are using same trademark without affecting each other's interest. So they are doing their business at their own, and there is no interference between the interest of these two users of trademark, and not challenged by both for more than 5 years. Both the users A and B are using same trademark, and they are going to carry their business individually, separately, without affecting business of each other and without challenging each other, then such type of use is not called as an infringement of trademark or registered trademark. If they are not going to challenge with each other, if they are not going to take any kind of objections for more than 5 years, then such use or concurrent use of trademark, that means concurrent means two persons are using same trademark, two or more persons are using same trademark without objection of each other, then that is not the infringement. Use of trademark by assignee or transferee. So assignee is the person to whom the trademark owner allows to use his trademark, or transferee is nothing but a person to whom trademark owner transfers or sells his trademark or gives his trademark as a gift. Then such transferee or assignee can use trademark registered, and that is not called as infringement of trademark. So these are certain exceptions in which even if a registered trademark is used by somebody else, then it is not called as an infringement of trademark. Now concept of passing off. What this passing off is? Concept of passing off. So now if the trademark is registered and if it is used by somebody else, unauthorized use of a registered trademark is done by some X person or third party, then there is a civil and criminal remedy. So the owner of trademark can take action in civil court or criminal court to recover damages or to punish the uh, user of trademark without permission. So but if you are using a trademark since so many years and you have not registered a trademark, you are the owner of trademark, you have set your trademark and your trademark has obtained goodwill in the market and it has gained the reputation in the market, but you have not registered your trademark. And now after using your trademark for so many years, somebody is going to use your trademark, but you are not a registered trademark owner, you are unregistered trademark owner, and your trademark is used by somebody else. Then the remedy is law of passing off. Passing off action as it provided under section 27(2) of the act. So the infringement can have the remedy as a civil or criminal, whereas if in case of unregistered trademark, your trademark is not registered and is used by somebody else, then the action which you can take against him is known as passing off action, and that is given under section 27(2) of the act. So only if your trademark is registered, then you can go for civil and criminal remedies in the court, whereas if your trademark is not registered and your trademark is used by somebody else, misused by somebody else, then you can take the action of passing off. What this passing off is, now we'll see. So the term of passing off is an actionable claim. Actionable claim, you can take action in which person passes off his goods as the goods of another person. So there are two persons, person X and Y. There are two persons X and Y, and X has registered his trademark. Say for example, Q is the trademark of X, and he is going to sell his product uh, in his name and with the trademark Q. Q is the registered trademark of person X, and this Q has obtained goodwill. Goodwill means the faith of customers is attained by this product produced by X under the trademark Q, and Y knows that the trademark Q has gained the popularity in the market. Therefore Y also starts to use the trademark Q. Unfortunately, X has not registered this trademark Q, and Y started to use this unregistered trademark. So no man here person of his goods as goods of another. So what Y is doing, Y is selling his product as if the product of X. So he is selling the goods, his goods as the goods of X. So this is not permitted. So Y cannot sell his goods as the goods of X. So no man is entitled to represent, no one is allowed to represent his goods as the goods of another man. He cannot sell his goods in the name of X. So no man is permitted to use of any mark, any sign or symbol or device of other man to deceive. So this is very important, to deceive the purchaser as a passing off. So if Y is using trademark Q, then purchaser will be cheated, that purchaser will think that he is going to purchase the product of X, but actually he is going to purchase product of Y, where the customer is deceived or cheated. So that is called as a passing off. So no one is allowed to do like this. So in order to avoid cheating of the customers, or to cause the loss of X which he has obtained in the form of goodwill in the market. So the loss which X is going to suffer is goodwill is exploited by Y, and Y is cheating, deceiving customers of X. So that is called as a passing off, because X has not registered his trademark Q. Q is unregistered, but he is using this trademark Q for more than 5 years, and this Q has gained popularity. We call it as a goodwill in the market. Therefore, Y is not allowed to use this trademark Q, even though X has not registered this Q trademark in the register of trademark. Then offense of passing off under section 27(2). No action for infringement of unregistered trademark. If your trademark is not registered, then you cannot take civil or criminal action under the law saying that it is infringement. You cannot say it as an infringement, you can say it as a passing off. Therefore, no person shall be entitled to institute any proceedings to prevent, recover damages for infringement. If your trademark is not registered, then you are not entitled to take action under the name of infringement of unregistered trademark. So if your trademark is not registered, then you cannot say the use of your unregistered trademark as an infringement, and you cannot institute a proceeding, means you cannot file a case in the court to prevent or to recover damages. So you cannot recover damages, or you cannot ask for compensation for the loss, but you can take action known as a passing off. Nothing in this section, so whatever is explained above, nothing in this section shall be deemed to affect the right of action against any person. That means, so you cannot say infringement, that means, that does not mean that you cannot take action. You can take action, but it is under the name of passing off goods, so or services, uh, as the goods or services of another person. So one person cannot sell his goods under the name of some other person. So this is your right. You can protect your right, or you can restrain or restrict a person who is selling his product under your name, even though your trademark is not registered. Now, object of passing off. What is the reason why passing off remedy is provided? The object of passing off remedy is to protect goodwill. So this is very important. Goodwill is gained by unregistered trademark and reputation of business. So once a person started his business, say X, and he is using Q as the trademark, now Q has gained reputation in the market or faith in the market, that we call as a goodwill. So encroachment by any dishonest competitor is prevented. So in this case, so X has started his business and is using Q as his trademark, whereas Y wants to use Q trademark which is unregistered. So this Y is prevented, is not allowed to use Q as the trademark for his business. So the main aim of this passing of remedy is to protect interest of trademark owner. So this passing of remedy protects interest of X and protect the interest of consumer also. So here there may be Z person who is consuming these goods produced by Q under the trademark Q. So this Z believes that the product with the trademark Q belongs to X. So this is the interest of Z. But if Y starts to sell his goods under the trademark Q, then this will be cheating with Z. So that is nothing but interest of customer is taken care of in this passing of remedy. To promote fair dealing in the market, so there must be fair dealing in the market, there should not be cheating in the market. So that is another objective. And promote commercial morality, so there must be ethics among the trade owners or businessmen. And to promote the ethics or morality in the commercial area, so that is another aim of this passing of remedy. So one should not sell his goods under the name of somebody else. That is the main aim of passing of remedy. Essentials of passing off. What are the essential conditions of passing off? When we say this is passing off, so if somebody misrepresents, misrepresentation made by defendant, so somebody means a defendant, in course of trade to prospective customers or ultimate customers of plaintiff. So X is the plaintiff and Y is the defendant. So what is happening here? Y is defendant and he is misrepresenting the his product to Z. Z is customer. This Y is misrepresenting using Q as the trademark. Actually Q is the trademark of X, but Y is also using Q trademark and selling his goods to Z. So this is the essential condition. One, that means Y has to use the trademark of X and has to cheat his customers, that is the customer of plaintiff. Plaintiff means X is the plaintiff who is the original owner of trademark, and misrepresentation calculated to injure his business or goodwill. So this misrepresentation made by Y is going to cause loss to X or his goodwill. Say for example, poor quality goods is sold by Y in the market. So what will happen? What Z will think that the product which he has purchased under the trademark Q belongs to X. Now the product produced by X is also of inferior quality. That means the goodwill of X in the market is damaged, or injury is going to happen with the goodwill produced by X in the market. So if the two conditions are satisfied, then it is called as a passing off. So here the very essential condition is this trademark Q is not registered, and that is that has gained the popularity. That means goodwill is acquired by this trademark Q and which is not registered and is used by Y in the market, and that is causing injury to Z. Z means Z is the customer. Now difference between passing off of the trademark and infringement. So first is, it is common law remedy. Common law, there is no rules. So generally what we say, it is not a moral or ethical to sell goods of one person under the name of another person. That is it is common law remedy. Whereas infringement is a statutory remedy. That means as per law the infringement is prohibited, and it is as per law, therefore it is called as a statutory remedy. Whereas this is a common thinking that one should not sell his goods under the name of other person, that is common law remedy. So passing off another is, it originates from the principle that no trader has any right to represent his goods or services as belonging to another person. So one person is not having rights to say that his goods or services belong to somebody else. So he has to promptly say that the goods produced or services provided are by him only, are not belonging to somebody else. So it occurs by registration of trademark. So here one acquires this right by registering his trademark. Once you register your trademark, then you acquire the right, and another person who is using your trademark is subjected to statutory remedy. Now, third difference between passing off and infringement is to establish passing off, the plaintiff has to prove, plaintiff means the owner, original owner, has to prove his trademark has acquired good reputation, is well established. So the person X has to prove that he is using his trademark Q since long back and it has acquired goodwill reputation and there is a value in the market for this trademark. So he has to prove. Whereas in case of infringement, the original owner need not prove that his trademark X, if he has registered Q as the trademark, then he need not to prove that his trademark has acquired goodwill. So only registration of his trademark is sufficient. The actual use of trademark by defendant is not essential. So defendant may use directly or indirectly, but if it causes loss to the original owner or plaintiff, then passing off remedy can be taken. So actual use of trademark by the defendant is essential. In case of infringement, the actual use of trademark has to be made by defendant, then only infringement action or remedy for infringement can be initiated. So here plaintiff has to prove that the defendant has used his trademark. Defendant has used his trademark, that is to be proved. It is basically an action for deceit. So passing off is nothing but action against cheating. Somebody is cheating by selling his goods under the name of somebody else, that is nothing but cheating, and passing off is the remedy for cheating. Whereas infringement is statutory remedy, it is as per law under the Trademark Act. So proprietor is going to register his trademark under the Trademark Act, and his trademark is protected by law, that is statutory remedy. Whereas this passing off is not a statutory remedy, it is action against cheating. So whereas sixth difference is the defendant may escape liability if he can show that added material is sufficient to distinguish his goods from those of plaintiff. The defendant can escape from liability. He can say that some material is added, something changes he has made, and he can move away from the action. But in case of infringement, if the honest use of trademark without unfair advantage, then he can escape. Registered user of trademark can use this trademark, or concurrent use of trademark, if is proved, then there is no action. Use of trademark by assignee or transfer, if it is assigned to somebody else, he can use his trademark, or if it is transferred or sold or gifted to somebody else, he can use this trademark. These are the defenses for defendant. So if somebody is going to take action for infringement of trademark, then these are the defenses which can be taken by the defendant. Remedies against infringement, actually this is not specified in your syllabus, even though what are the remedies. So if a trademark is infringed, there are three kinds of remedies. One is civil, another is a criminal remedy, and third one is administrative remedy. So civil remedy is nothing but one can initiate suit, generally we call it as a case, against the person initiated for infringement under the Trademark Act 1999 in Civil Code, which is established under Civil Procedure Code CPC 1908. So one can take action against the person who is going to infringe your trademark. So civil remedies will help you to acquire or to get the compensation. So civil remedies will help you to get the compensation, whereas the criminal remedies can be initiated in criminal court. So criminal remedies have to be initiated under criminal court having competent jurisdiction. So it should have a jurisdiction. That means if somebody is infringing your trademark in your locality and you are going to file case somewhere else, so that is not the jurisdiction of competent court. So you have to see the jurisdiction of competent court in addition to civil remedies. So you can initiate civil remedies as well as criminal remedies. So once you have initiated civil remedy, then there is nothing which will stop you taking criminal remedy. So in case of criminal remedy, the law does not make any distinction between registered trademark and unregistered trademark. So in this criminal remedy, punishment will be given and no compensation will be given to the owner of trademark. So the person who is going to misuse the trademark will be punished, and no uh, damages in the terms of compensation will be claimed in criminal remedies. The third one is administrative remedy. The Trademark Act 1999 vests certain powers in various administrative authorities. Administrative authorities like district collector, tahsildar, like that, or some other administrative authorities, and grant reliefs and remedies to aggrieved person. So such administrative authorities can take action against the user of your trademark, or somebody if uses makes the infringement of trademark. These administrative authorities have the rights to interfere and give the relief to the aggrieved person or owner of the original owner of a trademark. So next one is selection and evaluation of trademark. How the trademark is selected and evaluated before registration. So one should avoid the trademarks that cannot be registered. There are certain trademarks which cannot be registered. Say for example, you cannot register name of a person or name of a chemical. So such trademarks cannot be registered. When you want to establish your trademark, you should not use the trademarks which are prohibited to register. Avoid trademarks that cannot be registered. So strength of trademark matters. So when you are going to use a trademark, it should have strength. What kind of strength? So your trademark must be fanciful, arbitrary, it must be attractive, so it should have good aesthetic or appearance, and it should be easily rememberable. So certain strengths should be there in your trademark. Choose the words that are fanciful or arbitrary. So fanciful, say for example, Amar is the name, you want to use Amar as the trademark. So instead of using Amar, if you are going to write Amar like this, AAMAR, this is fanciful. Example. So there is minor difference than the general used words, or if it is fanciful or arbitrary words. Say for example, arbitrary words, you are going to register trademark for mobile, and the trademark is Apple. So actually you are going to sell mobile, but the trademark is Apple. So that is arbitrary. And avoid descriptive and generic words. Common words should not be used, or descriptive words. You want to sell, say for example, bucket. So your trademark should not be the name bucket, because if you are going to use it, then some other manufacturer cannot use this bucket, and actually this is the name of your product. So the trademark which you are using should not explain the product. Therefore, you should not use descriptive terms to as a trademark. So the descriptive words should not be used as a trademark, or generic word, common words should not be used as a trademark. Avoid surnames. So using the surnames for a trademark is creating confusion among the people, because the surnames are very common and just like a generic words, and are likely to confuse the people. So avoid using surnames. Avoid words causing consumers to confuse with the another trademark. So just we have seen Samsung, 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 and Samsung. So these are the confusing words. Avoid such confusing words as the trademark. Avoid three-letter acronym and numbers. So IBM is three-letter word. So to make this trademark popular, one has to take lot of efforts. So avoid using three-letter words or numbers. So generally avoid using numbers as the trademark because the numbers cannot be remembered easily. Therefore, there should be combination of letter and number. Then it can be remembered. So this was about the selection and evaluation of trademark. And at this stage, I think we have covered the trademark.